Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Rafferty, and we're here with
Hello, Will.
episode 2 of Get a Robo. Anything you want to carry over conversationally from the first episode to this one?
Well, they ended
Expectations, whatever?
they ended on a cliffhanger, so I have no idea if they're going to survive.
Yes, this will be the first show that ever kills its main three characters in the second episode.
They did kill the main characters in the first episode. We commented on that.
Well, I mean, they killed the test pilots? I don't know what they were. They're the trained pilots.
Yeah, they thought they were the main characters.
Well, I don't know. We didn't focus on them. We saw them for, what, 2 minutes?
Well, I suppose the definition of main character is who you're focusing on. But yeah, no, I'm just
Well, I don't.
joking. They did kill the
I,
pilots.
I
So
said it's something we've seen before, like here on channel. You start the first episode of Gundam, right? And the
yep,
guy who's supposed to pilot the Gundam gets killed by friendly fire in the first episode as he's running to get into the Gundam. That's where Amuro comes into play.
yeah.
But
So
but
we had three talented. We had three talented. We had the hero character, the asshole character, and the comic relief character using willpower and reflexes.
so you're saying the kid is never gonna pilot a Getter Robo? Sorry, I guess the whole thing is called Getter Robo.
Yes, Getter Robo.
Because it can't be the Getter, because Getter is some sort of radiation. Hasn't been
Getter
explained yet.
Getter is the radiation that hasn't been explained yet. It
I
is
guess
a
you could just call them
nonsense word.
Robos then.
Is they're using a nonsense. This is before they started using the word mech as for a giant robot is a U.S. term. Mecha, I think, shows up in some of the stuff in the 80s, but no, back then they were just robots or robos.
Well, I don't know. What 70s is where mobile suits comes from. So
Right. But the term mech or mecha has not been invented yet.
I just mean broadly, we could just call them Robos. Apparently.
That sounds way cooler. Robos. I'd rather have a robo.
Well, I just mean because Getter Robo is to designate it different from all other Robos, right? Because these are
It's not,
Getter Robos. Those are just Robos.
well, they're not Minovsky robots.
Well, yeah, but there are none Minovsky Robos. So the point
Not
being is that we don't need this additional designator right now until we see a different kind of Robo, until Emperor Gore gets into a Robo of his own.
Well, we don't know if the Dino robos use
Well, those are
Getter.
cyborgs, right? We've already noted that they're
A
just
cyborg's
normal
kind of
size.
robo.
Well, I don't know. A Robo seems to be a thing that you get into.
We'll find out. We'll watch
The difference between a GoBot and a Transformer, right? Like GoBot has a human brain in it, and a Transformer is a machine intelligence.
I mean, I do. We don't call them. When we get into the car, we say get in the car. We don't say get in the gas car. So you are correct.
Sorry, you said that, and I instantly went George Carlin. Get in the plane, get on the plane.
Get in the plane. Get on the plane. Fuck you! I'm getting in.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's I guess go ahead and get into it and watch the episode and see where we go from our cliffhanger.
Fuck you! We're getting in.
But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra. Can't tell what it reminds me of. The very opening beat of the song.
Well,
Something I've heard before.
it sounds a lot like 60s type club music and that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, not from an anime. Maybe like an American cartoon. That something. It's something I've heard that from before. So even if you don't know, I'm sure somebody will see this and they'll comment below. Well, that is kind of used in this or this or this. So I'll find out eventually.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it sounds like a bunch of Chambara and anime shows from the 60s and 70s.
God, now it's like right on the edge of my brain. Like I felt like I was getting there for a moment. But the problem is that to figure it out, I'd have to be sitting here in silence for a good 5 minutes before it actually comes to me.
Now that I'm seeing the Getter Robo original show, the Getter Robo Armageddon reboot makes even less sense. That is one chonker.
What's what, like a snake-headed brachiosaur?
Yeah, but like the body is excessively rotund. Dinosaur cells begin the conquest of Earth. Ugh.
Well, I mean, we see them sitting in like blank caves, so maybe they're just being force-fed.
Oh,
Also,
so the
also pre-designator of a dino saucer.
and the tomahawk has like a Tetsubo type half to it. It's kind of weird.
You're using actual references. For me, it looked like the back half of God, was it Jace in the Wheeled Warriors? How all their weapons have this weird plant-like effect on the back end of them.
Oh yeah, because they're weird plants. Wow, Jason the real warrior. I love they have a subtitle for the dinosaur trample attack. Come on, buddy. Willpower and reflexes. I love that it's just a dinosaur with a second robot head.
Yeah, I was gonna make fun of that, but then it was like, why did we make it so the pilots can feel the pain of the suit?
Okay, yeah, that's a thing that comes up, and in fact, that's one of the weird U.S. reinventions. It's like, okay, so in Mazinger and Getter Robo, and to some extent even Gundam, when the ship gets hit, the pilot reacts because having them not react would not be interesting.
Damn, this haptic feedback that we built in.
Right, but they're not really feeling it. They're just emoting like they feel it because that would be better. That's opera. But of course, later people have to make up a reason for that to happen instead of just, something looks better than nothing is the real reason.
Oh, I thought I had a sticker for it. I was about to toss that you. There's an incredible Gundam scene from the original Gundam where he gets hit, and it's just him ricocheting off of the seatbelt in the Gundam, just constantly doing this. So at least it's not him feeling the pain of the suit; it's just him being ricocheted around in the cockpit.
Yeah, because the stupid stuff they do in like Pacific Rim of no, you actually have to feel the pain. This would somehow enhance your experience is always silly to me. It's even sillier to me. It's like, come on, dude, willpower reflexes.
Yeah, for not having to know any control scheme mechanisms, there are a lot of buttons.
No notes. Okay, we now officially know he's the comic relief because he had to get bailed out by the girl.
I guess it's just that when I look at the kid, I expect him to be the Speed Racer kid for some reason.
I know. Uh-oh. See, look what your comic relief did. You almost got someone killed. You were fucking up so bad the asshole had to save
Why
you.
did the other two get out of the suit, though?
Because they had to bail their asses out. Oh, and there's...
Well, I mean, we never saw them land or get out. They just were all of a sudden on the ground, too.
We're in a hurry! We only have 25 minutes. They are precious.
You say so. Doesn't the dome have a giant, like, getter beam thing?
Getter isn't apparently a hostile weapon.
Well, no, we've seen it has like an antenna dish.
Plus, also, we established earlier that the monsters are impervious to Getter rays.
It's true. They improve their defenses.
So, without any missiles or tomahawks, they're defenseless.
Well, where does the tomahawk go when they're not transformed?
Where does anything go when they're not transformed?
Well, I mean, assumedly, like, they still have the missiles individually. So one of their craft had to have a tomahawk in it.
Yeah.
あなた、お願いですからそんな危ないことはおやめになってください。バカなこと言うな。ゲッター計画はわしの命。やめるわけにはいかん。
Aren't you still under attack?
That's what I thought.
それでもまだ続けるおつもりなんですか？
達人は宇宙開発という壮大な夢を見ながら死んでいったのだ。その達人のためにもゲッター計画を中止するわけにはいかんのだ。
No, I mean seriously, did I like blink and miss them not attacking anymore?
Oh, they already destroyed the Institute, so the dinosaurs have brought.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, you saw it.
No, I saw 2 things of fire, and the Institute was like a little bit cracked.
And they fled. It's been destroyed. It's
Well,
not a little bit cracked.
We are really
cutting,
really cutting the corners on showing stuff happening.
I saw it. I'm watching the same anime you are.
どうして逃げ出したりしたんだ？どうしてなんだ？
怖かったんだ、恐竜が。
恐竜が？
おいら、爬虫類を見ると気が遠くなって、何が何だかわからなくなるんだ。
I think it's weirder that you knew you had this problem before.
They let you in the judo club because you're afraid of dinosaurs? That's stupid. They slaps him around. It's like, didn't expect to find dinosaurs in judo club. They have weight classes, you know.
Also, didn't we, like, after this came out, figure out that dinosaurs don't really look like that?
Yeah, but they also don't have cybernetic dinosaurs.
Right. I just mean that he's discovered that he's afraid of something. Or he's been afraid of something that doesn't exist. He's got such a niche fear.
しかし博士、研究所は破壊されたんですよ。どこで修理するんです？
See, it's still there. That's what I'm talking about.
It's been destroyed. Look, there's cracks in it and shit.
It's right. I'm looking at it. It's right there.
Okay.
They didn't even knock out the support platform or
They
anything.
didn't even knock out the support platforms. It could be more destroyed.
I wonder.
You're phobic of dinosaurs. We never were able to find another teenager.
Well, thankfully, Emperor Gore did not attack the high school.
It's not an A-list target.
There were no getters there.
No get a radiation there.
What's the artist's name? You said?
Well, Go Nagayas was the lead character designer.
Oh, I thought you said there's someone's name that started with a Go. Go Nagai, you said, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the characters in the reboot has the name Go, but none of these guys do, which once again was a strange choice.
It just seems to me it's a loss of opportunity not to put Go as the first word. Go-getter.
That's what I was also getting at, like the Getter Robo, since they have a character named Go. People are shouting things like, "Stop, Go!" It never failed to make me laugh.
I just mean that these guys could have been called Go-getters instead of Getter Robo.
You know, and like I said, it's hilarious in Getter Robo Armageddon.
Beat my phobias out of me.
That's how therapy works.
I mean, what about we just go find that guy that beat your ass earlier today? Who's actively angry at you, by the way, for the thing that you just described having a problem with.
I mean, he's the comic relief character, but he's also the strongest judo guy.
He's not, though.
Yeah, he's a comic relief character.
No, the strongest judo guy.
Well, he just beat everybody up in the judo club.
Well, yeah, but because he's like fourth best, and they're all like students. That's what they just
No,
talked about.
No, he said he's fourth rank, as in
Well,
four
that
above
my
everyone
point
else.
was that they were saying that they're all weaker than him when he was asking them to attack. This guy is the best judo guy.
Right, well, this guy's best at everything.
Yeah.
But he's too cool to get involved. That's the problem. He just wants to play harmonica all the time.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is he should find this guy and have him beat the crap out of him.
Except he won't, because he doesn't do anything.
He does if you kick a soccer ball at him.
That's how you're going to do with a bag of frogs.
Also, he plays a harmonica so great, it doesn't sound like a harmonica anymore.
Basically, yeah.
I can't wait for a commenter to point out that it's not a harmonica.
It's a harmonica. I'll wait for... If anyone points out it's a mouth organ, ban their ass. Wow, asshole guy offered help. Oh, wait, you can help him out with the frogs. That's what the bag of frogs is.
Oh, okay.
Bag of frogs is like a dinosaur.
To be fair, I thought it was going to be stupider. Well, Jurassic Park, that's true. Frogs are like dinosaurs, apparently.
This predates Jurassic Park. This is where Jurassic Park got it from.
I thought it was going to be stupider, like it's going to be filled with toy dinosaurs or something. Oh, snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
I love the frogs. Oh, that's right. He's not afraid of dinosaurs. He's afraid of reptiles. Which frogs are amphibians, so I don't know
He
why.
did say he was afraid of dinosaurs before.
Yep.
A phobic of dinosaurs.
Hayato just locks him in there and listens to him scream. He's definitely confident. Yeah, what are you doing?
ねえ、隼人君、元気たちから爬虫類を買い集めたそうだけど、そんなものどうするつもりなの？
He's such an asshole.
I have no understanding of his motivation for being an asshole, though. Other than apparently his girlfriend or mom is dead? I can't tell.
No, I think he's... Well, yeah, maybe.
Well, no, in his cross, he had a little picture of a woman, and I couldn't tell if it was his mother or a dead girlfriend.
Or this woman here, but the problem is that the character designs are kind of generic. So.
True. Could be the girl he wants to be his girlfriend, but I don't know. It was grayscale.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a translation thing with it, dinosaurs or reptiles, but...
Was it the previous episode or this episode?
This is the episode where he confessed his fear of dinosaurs.
Oh, okay.
Which was weird because it didn't come up when they were fighting the first one, but only in when they got surrounded. In this episode, did the phobia overwhelm him? But actually, in the first episode, they showed him like
put a blindfold on.
A lot.
Yeah, he put a blindfold on too.
Yeah, so. But for some reason, like these are the only candidates they have to pilot the giant robot. Are these three idiots?
Well, I was gonna say if he said that in the first episode, then I could say maybe different translators or something. But if he said it in this episode, then it's just weird.
One day in a room filled with snakes and frogs.
It's always weird what form fear will take, right? How many people are afraid of spiders? But they don't run away from spiders. They aggressively attack the shit out of spiders.
One of the first mods for Skyrim was one that removed all the spiders because some people were so afraid of spiders they couldn't play the game.
Well, yeah, that's different. That's visually and you can't get away from it. But I mean, you actually see a spider in front of you. How many people who are afraid of spiders grab a shoe and just go to town?
I don't know.
So now they are attacking the high school. The joke I made before.
Yeah, there you go. They heard you. Apparently they had to regroup because I mean dinosaurs do need to take a break. You know, self-care.
Well, half of that one does. The other half, I think, go all time.
That's not the high school. That's something else.
No, the first place it looked like high school. They're
I know.
obviously going worldwide with this.
It's Tokyo Tower. It's not an anime till we blow up. Well, not Tokyo
Is it?
Tower.
Or are they in France?
It's always Tokyo.
No, not always. Again, I'm comparing this to Voltace 5 in my mind, which is worldwide.
Yeah, I forget the name of the Tokyo radio tower. It cracks me up that the computer still spits out paper tape.
これじゃあ東京は全滅だ。
博士、奴らを倒すにはゲッターロボしかありません。行かせてください。
Why?
I mean, it's 1975. I don't think they were still doing paper tape.
I guess I'm just still surprised. Why hasn't the military responded yet?
I don't know.
I think normally the first thing that happened is military responds, shows it's ineffective, then we call on the giant robot.
Apparently, in this future, there's no Japanese Defense Force.
Yeah, it's a shame that the U.S. government doesn't have multiple military bases in the region.
I know. It's some future where there's none of that.
I appreciate that he tied himself into the seat, but he's already got his sword mounted behind him.
Yep.
こちらに来るメカザウルス大を発見しました。
大は地中へ潜る。だからゲッター2で行け。
了解。
Technically, they all burrow into the ground.
了解。よし、よ武蔵。ゲッター2行くぞ。け。チェンジゲッター2。
Also, is his helmet the only helmet that has a chin strap?
Yeah. That's because it's really a construction helmet.
No, not the comic relief guy, the asshole.
Well,
Not a
relief
chin
guy's
strap. It's not really a chin strap. It's like his chin is so strong it needs guard to him. Right here.
Okay, so the question... So, Musashi, makes sense that his outfit's improvised because they just had to, like, do this today. Which implies that the other two guys already had their superhero outfits already ready.
I guess, or are perfect fits for the other dead people.
Yeah, either is pretty weird. If any of you were wondering where the Gurren Lagann references come from, it's right here.
I don't know. I don't know what version Getter this is. I didn't see the number, but it is the dumbest looking version of the Getter Robo. Little pinhead thing that it had going on.
Yeah, I think that's number 2. But
this clearly has to be the main version.
I've only seen 2 robots with giant drills. One of them is Gurren Lagann and one of them is this. The dinosaur may be impervious, but not the missiles.
Yeah, I appreciate that they didn't just try and shoot the pterodactyl, I guess, with it.
Yeah.
Or pterodon.
Or pterosaur. I don't know. Whatever. It's been dismembered.
Cyber terror. Despite the fact that these cyber dinosaurs were clearly in 3 very dynamic different locations.
No, it's all Tokyo.
Also, isn't this supposed to be the flight getter?
It can go underwater.
But we have a very specific water getter before.
Yes, we did. Which is probably where they're getting their ass kicked. They should have transformed. I love that it's choking the robot. Like, it's a robot. It doesn't...
Well, more so that it morphs from different ones, so it feels like they could change at any point and just split where the neck is.
Which they're telling him to do.
We're not trained for this.
Yeah, they're not trained for anything.
You notice that his head, he's got his face with normal human face, but his head thing has eyeballs on it too.
Yeah.
Like he built in his own sword rack.
Yep.
Where did the tomahawk go?
I also love. Wait, we're being dragged. Wait, I have a giant axe.
Right, that's the water mode we saw last episode.
Right, but he's in charge of the water mode, which is why he was reluctant, because he's afraid of reptiles. See?
Well, I mean, look at the one that looks completely robotic. You only have to look at one of the two heads.
Way to save money. So, okay, I spent 5 minutes in a room with frogs, and then, this is exactly how you get over trauma.
Yeah, teaching a generation.
Yep. Just power through it. And now he's going to use his judo.
Well, I guess the thing here... Well, I was going to say, that one's special move was literally to breathe fire, and we're fighting it underwater, so it never had a chance.
That's a good... You got both heads at once. That's a good shot. Man, that... Is it a tie or a scarf? I can't tell.
I think it's supposed to be a really disheveled tie.
I want one.
You know what I can't wait for? Is that we never remember the 3 original pilots ever again.
Yeah, I mean, we won't.
Never gonna look at a grave, never gonna honor their memory.
Yeah, well, they might. I mean, there's probably a gazillion episodes of this.
And alluding to the next episode's villain. I do appreciate that there was 2 tiny little figures for scale.
Yep, they keep it chained up. It's that scary. And let's get a Robo.
Okay. Rainbow strategy. Hey, look, it's that destroyed base. They moved back in.
Yeah, they rebuilt it.
Because,
Because it was barely destroyed.
The dinosaur empire half-asses everything, apparently.
Apparently. They just got beaten up by 3 teenagers. 4 teenagers.
Yes,
sorry.
Well, technically, it doesn't seem like the... I forgot her name. Doesn't seem like the girl joins in anything.
She's the command module, which is apparently very important.
Well, it looks like more she's flying reconnaissance over top of them.
That's command.
Thank God she can see through the ocean. Or I guess Tokyo Bay, as it were. I don't know if Tokyo Bay has a reputation for being extremely clear or anything.
It does have a reputation for being infested with monsters.
Well, yeah. Throughout all media, but I guess that's where you attack Tokyo from. I guess he's really big.
So, as enjoyable as this is, we are at a disadvantage. We are not children in 1975.
Are we not?
Pretty sure.
I don't know, Raph. I've got a pretty high bar for bullshit.
You do. But like I said, some of the writing in this is going to be very television oriented, so it's going to be very immediate. I appreciate that they have teasers. I appreciate that they, at the end of the first one, the cliffhanger, and the next one says, well, of course they defeated, Big Chonker, but they're not going to be able to stand up against Hermit Crab.
Oh, is that what that was? What are they called?
Mollusks.
Well, yeah, I guess technically that, but I was thinking more so, what are the extremely old fossils? Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. I realized I'm thinking of something else. You're
Yeah,
probably
I think you are actually thinking of some kind of giant moth. Well, whatever it is, they're going to defeat it.
well. I'm
So
realizing now that whatever I'm thinking of is more of a shell that goes like I don't know. I'm describing it in an angle, and that doesn't work for what I'm. It is more of a flat shell sort of thing instead of a
right.
curved shell like that.
Well, we both agree they're pushing the definition of what a dinosaur is, because that's not a dinosaur.
Well, I think they're trying to pull from an era and not so much the classic definition of a dinosaur. But
Well,
even
even
then, dinosaurs existed in a very specific era, and they're pulling from like the entirety of
I
pre-civilization.
mean, even the movie Jurassic Park actually pulls dinosaurs from the Cretaceous era. So yeah, it's um, I can't believe that the show about children piloting giant robots might not be scientifically accurate.
Well,
I will say I am disappointed that we are 2 episodes in and they've not explained what the hell Getter radiation is yet.
yeah. Oh, I mean, I think if I had hang-ups on this, I'd have more hang-ups in the second episode. But I
I mean,
mean, more so because it seems to me that your argument tends to be pacing. And like when they were drilling through the earth and we're laughing at the little chase scene going on, that
yeah,
extended for way too long. That could have been
that
one of those frames and we'd understand what was going on.
but on the other hand, I mean, at least Mazinger would have explained the Mazinger alloy and why it was important in the first episode. I do think that I mean, it's not clear to me if they need getter rays to power the robot or if the robot makes its own getter. That I would like to see
I mean,
explained.
that's something I didn't consider. If they need get arrays to power the robot, because that would explain the tower with the transmission beam on it.
Right.
Like if that thing has to be pointed at them for them to operate.
Which is why once they thought they destroyed the station, they destroyed the robots. And that's well, it's still got the underground station, which apparently works. You know, we could have just built this whole thing underground and not care. So
Well,
yeah,
because you indicated right there that you thought it was a power transmission source. I thought, and back in episode 1 when I was pointing it out, or I guess beginning of this episode, that it was a beam of some sort that they could have
it,
attacked with.
it can be both. You can use microwaves to both power things and hurt things.
Well, they didn't use it as anything. Like
Right.
I'm again, but you use Mazinger as your example. I'm using Voltace 5. Voltace 5, they have a base. If that little tower thing exists in Voltace 5, it would be the shield that goes up around the base.
Right. Yeah.
Here,
No,
it did nothing. It just got cracked.
right. Well, that's where I think would be, and also there's always the thing I always want to get at, which might be meta, which is there's always bad writing. Like it could be that it's supposed to be that the Getter Tower powers everything, but they keep forgetting that. And so they keep forgetting to mention that, and there'll be points in the where they say, well, if an underground base could do it from what, and also how were they going to explore space if they require transmitted power? I mean, were they only going to explore space in direct line of sight of Earth? I mean, it would be nice if they paused to explain those bits, but once again, it's a kid show, so they're concentrating on Mushashi's fear of frogs
It
and
does
how.
feel to me like I brought it up before. I'm bringing it up again. GI Joe level writing, where
Yes, people like GI Joe.
yeah, but I just mean that even then, Cobra Commander would explain why they need the thing of the day, right? We've got to go get the thing the Joes are, the power source thing or the beam laser or whatever, because then we could use it for X.
Yes, even though there might be holes in it. Like one episode that always stood out to me is where Cobra Commander wants to get Excalibur, the legendary sword, because he is convinced that whoever possesses that sword will rule the world. Even though it's not explained why anyone thinks that in an era of guns.
Yeah. Well, I always love that in the breakdown, the Cobra has a very high success rate in that they always take something from the Joes and then the Joes have to go get it back. Cobra always succeeds in the first half of the mission, fails in the second half.
Well, if they didn't, they could do episodes where Cobra never succeeds, but those episodes aren't as interesting.
Right. But yeah, no, like I said, we don't know why Emperor Gore wants anything to do with the Getter other than the fact that Getter can defeat him.
Well, they're the only force that exists. There's no military. There's no military. It never shows up.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, sorry, I'm going to say some politically incorrect shit, and I'm not going to go there, but...
No, wait. We stand corrected. The Air Force did show up, but they were quickly wiped out.
Yeah, they didn't say whose Air Force.
Right. But, yeah, it's, that's what I mean by children. Like, if this was, like, they've established that Gore only fears,
Again,
the Getter Force.
I guess the problem with me pulling examples from Voltaire 5 is that it's learned. Again, it only comes a couple of years after this. So I don't know what the production timing is on such things. Versus Mazinger, which you say comes years before this.
Only 3.
So yeah, Voltaire 5 literally would happen the same way, except they will tell you where these forces are fighting, what countries are coming from. Voltaire 5 tells you how many people have died. So,
yeah. And so
that's my thing. I mean, Voltaire 5 left me with more questions than Getter Robo has, though.
Oh, I needed to look up a refresher on Mazinger. Okay, Super Alloy Z is made from Japanium, which is only found in Japan.
I mean, to be fair, if you think of Gundanium from Gundam, that's just moon alloy.
Just moon alloy. Well, but I'm hilarious that Japanium comes from Japan. It's hilarious.
So this is 74, yeah. So Voltaire 5 is 77, and when is Mazinger?
Mazinger starts in 1972, but it would still the sequel Grandizer would have been running at the same time this show was made.
So yeah, one's 2 years before, one's 3 years ahead. So still within the ballpark of the era of these shows.
Right. And Mazinger has the thing going on where Dr. Hell, the best name ever, wants to take over the world with his crime syndicate and can only be stopped by Mazinger. So, whereas this show, it's like the dinosaur. I mean, yes, this show has some of the vibes that you'll later see in the other Getter Robos, which is you can't be bothered. Like they want to get to the action, so they keep forgetting to explain some of the story that's going on. Like Getter radiation is important, but they are so eager to show us the teenagers, interacting with each other and overcoming their fears that they forget to mention basic info.
I think the problem is that they brought it up. Right? Yeah. It'd be different if I was like, what's the Getter and Getter Robo mean? And they just never said it. That would be a different thing. I would just be like, well, maybe it's like phrase, like slang or something. But they brought it up. The Emperor goes, oh, they've got the Getter thing. And he's like, I'll never give it up. So it's like, you brought this to my attention.
Yes, we're 2 episodes in, and they haven't explained what the Getter radiation is. Only that the professor, only that it's somehow relevant. So yeah, it's this also. See, I'm also coming from the perspective of Getter Robo Armageddon, which is just it's just mad. It's just wacky. Whereas this is, like I'm forgiving of this because this has the energy of a kids program, and it's got that slapdashness to it that I'm not necessarily forgiving of. Like at least stuff is happening and it's kind of exciting.
Oh, did Go Nagai work on Speed Racer?
Maybe.
I'm just thinking maybe the art style that I'm thinking feels super familiar. It could have been from the really early, the original Speed Racer.
They're laboring under the same, constraints.
Yeah, but even then, different art styles are different.
But I don't think so. He's mostly noted for Mazinger, Devilman, Cutie Honey, Violence Jack, which is hilarious.
But no. I'm just...
No, he's not one of those
I've
Speed Racer.
watched a number of 70s anime now, and nothing looks as familiar to me as the art style that I'm seeing here.
I mean, we can draw a line from all of them to Tezuka. Like everybody, all these guys are imitating Tezuka in different ways.
I don't think I've seen that.
Astro Boy.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about, yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant a show name. That's
No, I
what you
mean
said.
Tezuka. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but
Tezuka,
even
not
then, you say
a manga.
Astro Boy, I don't think any of these people look like anybody from Astro Boy.
No, but if you the cartoonish designs, the long swooshing hair, the robot designs, I mean, because Mazinger and Get a Robo 1 look a lot like Pluto, which, once again is Astro Boy. Um, uh, this kind of look with the swords, what do they call the Sword Saint animes? Stuff like where the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers come from, Saint Saiyan and that kind of stuff. I guess they call them Saiyan animes.
Oh yeah, I got
Yeah,
a whole recommendation from Fail Fisher about all of their stuff in
right.
the Discord.
This kind of style with the skin tight jumpsuits, the long swooshing, the colors, this will dominate until around this period, 77, until basically Star Wars and the revolution in special effects in the US. Like you need to see it in Gundam. Like in the early seasons of Gundam, they still have the rocket ships, will still have those big swooshing jabby triangles like you see here. But Gundam very quickly mutates into the real mecha era where you see what they call greeble. There's always the detail with the little seams and a little like vent. Everything's got vents and
Yeah, no,
joints.
Adam Savage goes at length about taking like model kits apart to use in movie production,
Right.
so we could greeble the models that they use in the movies.
Right, Greeble is visual interest, and basically they move from this era here where everything looks like cool and swooshy and lines, but also very smooth, into the era where they look like fake military vehicles, they look like fighter jets and that sort of thing, and they start adding all those details, and this will eventually be replaced by that kind of 80s and 90s, like Macross, like here, because once again it's a kid show for the 1970s, it's more like a superhero show. Here's our, like you said, our four teenagers with attitude, and they have to fight our evil overlord, and Tokyo gets blown up every week, and there's a body count, but we don't talk about anybody who got killed because they died off. We didn't see them die. We're never gonna talk about that guy again. He's dead. Your brother's dead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it was the guy that the woman was talking about in the first episode, her brother.
Yeah. Yeah, name like Tatsuhitsu or something like that.
Yeah,
no,
but she's not the professor's daughter, right?
No, I don't think so.
That's something that threw me off when I was watching Voltaire 5, was that everybody almost everybody except for like one guy is related to everybody else, but they kind of put that in episode per episode.
Yeah,
Like
no,
the
it's
two other guys were related to the main guy, but they only referred to him as brother later, and it's like, is she related to the professor? And that was the professor's son, except that the other guy is also the professor's son, and they're just not referring to each other in the familiar tones that they should be.
If they're related, the anime can't be bothered to tell us. And in fact, that's going to be a recurring theme of a lot of Go Nagai stuff, where we're in a hurry, so we don't have time to explain. No time to explain. In a strange way, I respect the anime for not saying we have no time. See, that's my issue. I would like that. That's the weird part of Rafferty. I would rather watch this where they just forget to explain stuff and move breathlessly from one part to another than to watch a Whedon-esque type thing where they would say there's no time to explain and then move on to it. It's like no, like either explain it or just blow past it.
Again, you say no time to explain, but I can't help but keep thinking back to the minute-long drill sequence.
Yeah, but that was also probably because it was cheap to film. I mean, we bothered to make all those animation cells. We're gonna have that pay off. I agree with you that, but on the other hand, I mean, I'm not sure how much this is going to sustain our interest over the next 800 episodes or whatever. But it's I mean, obviously, the guys who made this said we want Mazinger, but better. And so they said, well, what would be better? Well, Mazinger only has one robot and one pilot. What if we had 3 pilots and they could make 3 different robots?
Again, the thing that throws me off is that the whole morph thing.
Yeah.
Like, I am infinitely more used to seeing the robots that have either one form and don't change, or one form and do change, and they change from parts from within them, right?
Yeah.
These things are like I said, Play-Doh. They Play-Doh together.
Well, this is very mercenary. They're basically telling you
I guess if you think about it, they are kind of ahead of their time because, more future sci-fi will go with like liquid metal shit that just fuses together and then shape changes, and that's kind of what we're doing here with different things.
No, now you're getting meta. No. They're just not. They just don't care.
No. Well, I mean, you can be ahead of your time without trying to be. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt here, Raph.
Yeah, I'm not, because not only will they not explain it here, they're not going to explain any of the sequels. It's just bad animation.
Because again, I brought it up in the first episode, right? I want to see what happens when they get hit with a physical weapon, considering that they ram into one another to form.
In fact, I've never seen it spelled out, but stuff like Macross and Ghost in the Machine, aka Ghost in the Shell, is a reaction to this. That I've seen the liner notes to those shows where they don't call out shows like Get a Robo, but the writers mentioned that they were getting sick and tired of unrealistic robots or unrealistic mecha that were unbalanced or unwieldy or didn't make any sense. And I'm pretty sure they're calling out shit like Get a Robo, where robots just morph into whatever they need to. Whereas with something more like Macross or what eventually became the Transformers robots, though you could buy a physical toy that could physically change shape between the 2 forms.
I mean, it's hilarious to me all the times I've heard what Macross is a reaction to. I first started watching Macross, and everyone's like, this is a reaction to Gundam. And it's like, okay, I can see that. A bunch of these storylines and shit seem like rip-offs, and I've heard the Gundam communication noise in Macross 100 times now. And now it's a reaction to old school super robot genre as well.
Well, we need to rephrase. A reaction is where we're making a show that specifically refutes or rebuts or does things that another show doesn't do. That's a reaction. An imitation is where you're just doing stuff. And Macross is an imitation of Gundam because both Gundam and Macross are military themed shows.
Well, the first example of that was given that Macross was a parody of Gundam and not an imitation of Gundam. But then it started getting serious on its own after it was made, and I can see a lot of writing on the Macross wall of they were making this as they went.
Well, they are making this as they go, but satire requires clarity of purpose. Macross is not a satire. Macross is there to sell you model kits.
Well, I mean, there was examples given, not on the model kit side, more of the things the characters do, like having the captain constantly banging his head into the thing as he's walking into the room. And
Macross is more lighthearted than Gundam, and it's designed to be like not as dour or as brutal, whereas Gundam, especially in the 83 series, is just a big misery fest.
I don't know about that. Gundam only kills half the population of Earth, of humanity. Macross killed everybody on the planet. We just got to that episode. So.
Well, hey, in this, look, no one would accuse Get a Robo of being serious. Like, the main female pilot, her brother died last episode. Her body, they didn't retrieve the body. Like, his body isn't even cold, and she's already laughing and joking with the 3 replacement pilots.
To be fair, they seem to be using some sort of magical fluid to pilot their ships, because you remember she went down in a similar crash as he did, and our comic relief guy got her out with no problem, not even a burn or a scratch.
No. What I'm getting at here is if you're talking about whether this is supposed to be serious or silly, like no PTSD. Her brother's dead.
Yeah, it's
And the
again,
and the three
3 years later we'll be at Voltes 5, and they will go to graves and everything like that, and it's still super robot genre. So
yeah, I mean this is silly. There's a huge body count and no one cares. This is silly. Like they're just not asking. This is Grand Theft Auto. We killed 12 people on the way to the gas station.
yeah, I
They
mean
don't
there
care.
is also the whole explosion of anime thing, and that you can't even look at comparisons. Well, you can, but I don't know that there's any value looking at comparisons directly between series that are out years apart. I only say that because before we started watching Pluto, I wanted to like watch the original Astro Boy to kind of see what it was about. So I watched a couple of episodes of 1963's Astro Boy, and then I had it in my head. Well, maybe I'll just like watch a couple of episodes of all the original anime, and maybe every year there. And you look at the Wikipedia, and there's like 5 TV anime in 1963, and then 1964, it's a whole ass list. The,
Right. I
the the
mean,
genre explodes.
right. And so, like, it's not just to look at continuity. Like, these shows had to get greenlighted and they had to get budgets, and there were only so many television stations, so much money, and so many animation studios, and so much talent to go around.
Well,
So
Astro
they
Boy
made,
was the first big one. There was like 2 before it that were animating historical things. They made Astro Boy on a shoestring budget on purpose just to
right,
see if it would be successful. And I think I said before it got 40% of the Japanese TV viewing audience at the time. And that's
right.
why they just go off making more stuff with bigger budgets and actual talent and everything like that. But
Well, there's
I
talent
don't
behind
mean
that.
it as a matter of continuity. I just meant, you know, seeing the origins of anime. I didn't watch the first couple episodes of Astro Boy because I wanted the continuity when I went to watch Pluto. I just wanted to see where does this all come from? Because Astro Boy is the very first successful anime broadcast on TV,
Well, and to some extent,
not a
Getter
movie.
Robo. Well, Getter Robo is once again they're trying to get the success of Mazinger. But anyway, so it was it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it, but like I said, I'm not sure how much more gas there is in this tank. So maybe we'll see a bit more of it.
Right, sure. Otherwise, I guess that's it for us today. No other comments? Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I
Well,
enjoyed it.
once again, I've been Theta. This has been Rafferty. We've been Stone Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?